And finally, disturbed by the tension over the controversy trailing President Bola Tinubu's Chicago State University certificates, 107 non-serving senators have called for caution, respect for the rule of law, and principle of justice in handling the matter. Speaking under the banner of the APC Non-Serving Senators Group, they threw their weight behind President Tinubu. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Ambassador to Burundi, Onyeagba, has urged the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, to give up on his attempts to bring down President Tinubu. Speaking on TVC News Current Affairs program, Politics Tonight, Ambassador Onyeagba described the move as belated. Let's hear from the ambassador.
I mean, the vice president talked about the fact that Nigeria is not ripe for a Muslim ticket. I agree, but again, I will also put the question to say, okay, it's because Muslim ticket obviously has won the elections, but even if he didn't win the elections, for example, is it also right, for a northerner to be president and for 8 years and for another northerner to even attempt to become president for probably another 8 years? So we are saying on the one hand that, Muslim ticket is not right for the country due to the nature of diversity we have in the country. But are we saying that people from the southern part of the country also don't deserve to be president after an 8 years presidency of a northerner in Nigeria? I mean, a Fulani man for that instance. So after one Fulani man finishes, another Fulani man takes over. Is that now correct? Or is that now right for us in Nigeria? The most legitimate way of getting yourself to become president or to get into any political office is through the elections. And looking for technical issues, as far as I'm concerned at this point, doesn't make a lot of sense. And he indeed called for coalition for quite a lot of other parties to join him in the struggle. That coalition that they are trying to build in Supreme Court would have been much more beneficial if they built it before the elections. So I wonder what this coalition, afterthought coalition, will bring to them at the end of the day. But of course, you can see that they have actually said, no, everybody should carry their cross. Whatever you find, take it to the court. Luckily, the Labour Party and NNPP and even the APM that are in court never went to Chicago State University, so they can't even add this as part of what they are taking to the Supreme Court. Whatever grounds they have, they should go ahead with it. And whatever grounds His Excellency, the former Vice President, has found, he should also go ahead with it. But what is important is that once the Supreme Court gives the ruling, that brings an end to this, and then we can move on and wait for the next round of elections.
Ambassador Onyeagba speaking on our current affairs program, Politics Tonight. Jide, now we are waiting for the Supreme Court to actually put an end to this saga.
That's the point that the 107 senators, non-serving senators at this time, that is what they are saying, that look, this controversy is needless, is pointless at this time, and it is not unusual for world leaders to face some level of scrutiny. Obama, they even accused Obama of not being born in the U.S. He had to fight and fight, defending himself over that. Even Indian President Modi, too, was accused. So from time to time, this happens. But what the senators led by Senator Bashir Lado are saying is, let's allow the government to focus on governance and brush this matter aside. They're also saying, well, since the matter is already before the courts, what is all the noise about? Let's leave the courts to do their work and decide on the authenticity of the president's diploma, as the Americans call it.
Some will say that the way things are now, that they're calling for his resignation now on moral ground, that the president should resign, that he shouldn't even wait for that Supreme Court. Well, they feel that the outcome of whatever happened at CSU, that the president should throw in the towel.
What is the outcome? What is the outcome? There was nowhere in the deposition that the registrar said the certificate was fake.
Yes.
He's certainly not going to say that. The only thing they are holding on to is where he said that he did not, that he could not authenticate it.
what they brought.
And it makes no sense for him. He was not the issuer. He was not there when it was issued. You want him to defend something. He made the point clear that he was not there at the time it was issued. Perhaps the issuers are even dead because my own VC is long gone. So if I want to do a replacement this thing, because they were arguing, oh, signature, don't mind this, you know. So I will go and wake up the dead and say, come and sign my this thing. I will come and sign because so that people will not complain. People are free to make all their complaints. For the first 2 days after the deposition, they were quiet because the man affirmed that this is the person. It's not a woman, because they regaled us with her. Oh, it's a woman's certificate. They said no. No, the person we gave admission to is Bola Tinubu. Even the issue of the security number that they made so much noise about, it's been confirmed that the security what's it called?
Number belongs to him.
Yes, the social security number belongs to him.
Yes,
these were some of the things that they made so much noise about. These guys, before and after the election, they made so much noise about a civil forfeiture. They did not even know the difference between civil forfeiture and criminal forfeiture. A man who was never brought to court, was never charged for drug running or anything, you are accusing him of being a drug lord over an account that he was not the only one operating it. Just because you want to destroy him, you are not happy that he's the one who won the election. And you are incapable of winning an election. So now, why didn't they ask? Why didn't Waziri's lawyers ask the CSU official, is that certificate fake or not? They knew that if they asked him if the certificate was fake, and the man said no, it's not fake, that is the end of their story, matter. So the person depositing for an issue, or the deponent, I don't even know the word, I can't remember the word, would only answer questions that you ask him. And some of those questions, some of those answers were brief.
Very brief.
Out of like, a 5-hour deposition, out of a 5-hour deposition, all they can take out of it is where he said, oh, it did not emanate from us, therefore we cannot authenticate. So there is someone in our office, one of our management staff. In fact, she just completed a course in the US, and what they did is they told him, we have vendors who produce the certificate for you. We don't do it by ourselves. And they gave her multiple vendors. The things that we take lightly, take seriously here, over there is not even, it's nothing to them. And that is the point that Kwerogi was making. In the second write-up that appears much better than the first one, where he was saying that, look, it's ignorance to imagine that, okay, the system in America is like our own. As I've said before, based on lawyers and judges that I spoke to on this matter told me, you can only talk about forgery when there's an alteration to a document. So those making the silly comparison to Mesoma did alteration. Where is your evidence that that certificate that Tinubu altered anything?
And Mesoma owned up herself.
Yes.
No, it's not even a matter of own up. There can be no forgery without alteration.
Yes.
You must alter something.
Yes, she went on as say maths, You
gave yourself a different number.
Different number.
No, Tinubu is incapable of even doing that because even the school affirmed that, yes, this person passed through us. The school also released his
transcripts.
They release his transcript. I wish Atiku can release his own transcript for us to evaluate his academic capacity. So now, if you cannot, you have to prove that he altered before the allegation of forgery can stand. So, and you have already, remember, Nigerian newspapers, the way they reported it the first time was that the school authenticated the certificate. You know why? Because what Atiku asked them to do was show to me whether the funds on the certificate that is submitted match the other one. And they answered him that the funds matched. So that's why papers reported that they have authenticated. But they waited for a few days. They were downcast initially. But they waited. After a few days, they started talking about what that man said.
Behind this distortion? We don't, you know, people deliberately, they're deliberately distorting that sitting.
So, what we have, the social media, the people on social media are the ones causing problem. And it's very unfortunate because this is going outside, you know, and when I mean outside, globally, people will begin to see us as people who don't even understand issues. Because, you know, when you talk to people outside, as in people in the US, they will always ask, we don't even use this certificate.
They don't even need it. About. Most people don't collect it.
You know, and people even ask, how did Bola, the president, even get to Mobile and also the lot? It's true, it's transcript. They won't ask him for a certificate.
No, they don't need.
They just say, send your transcripts.
It's a transcript.
Even if you are leaving, if you are going to, if you say you want to go abroad now to go and study, what do they ask for? Do they ask for certificate?
Transcript. That's the true.
That is the only way. Yes, to know that, oh, you even went to that university.
Courses, they will see the courses that you.
So that is why sometimes, even till today, I'm even fighting my university. By transcript, I hope it's ready.
They won't give you.
You know, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling them, I hope it's ready. They say pay as I paid. I hope it's ready. So because the thing is, the transcript is what shows that you actually attended that university.
You attended classes and took courses.
And you took courses. And they will write in the title
so if it was,
and even the scores.
If it was transcript that they tampered with or they have evidence tampered
with, a big issue. There may be one introduction to management.
They don't need it.
Then maybe they bring another one showing
you think legally it makes sense now for you ask me
to
authenticate something. It was someone else that printed it, and you want me
to authenticate.
Let's go, James. I like that. Thank you. Juliet Toju, thank you for your contribution. And that's all on Journalist Hangouts. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. And don't forget to join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangouts on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. See you tomorrow.